What is this creature? A fish? Snake? Actually, it's neither. It's a tadpole, a baby frog. It lives underwater in ponds, rivers, lakes, and streams, and it eats plants or decaying animal matter. And it eats and eats. Tadpoles have tremendous appetites. But we're getting ahead of our story, a story that begins late in spring. That's when mother frogs, who slept all winter, now have laid thousands of tiny eggs. The eggs are in clusters. They're soft. They have no shells. The mother frog has covered her eggs with a jelly-like substance that helps to protect them. It takes from 4 to 15 days for frog eggs to hatch, depending on the kind of frog and the warmth of the water. What part of the egg do you think will become the baby tadpole? Well, those black dots are actually the babies. Let's see what happens to those black specks. Just before the tadpoles hatch, their bodies grow longer and they begin to move within the egg. Not even 2 weeks after the eggs are laid, the tadpole's head and tail are formed. The tiny creature is almost ready to hatch. When he's ready, he'll wriggle his way out of the egg, as some of his brothers and sisters are already doing. They hatch before they're even fully developed. At first, they use their mouth to cling to plants or rocks in the water. At this stage, they resemble baby fish. Before long, some are already swimming and snatching tiny bits of food. Like fish, they get the oxygen they need from water through their gills. Thousands of tadpoles. Too many for this little pond. But many will be eaten by hungry fish, insects, and other animals that live in the water. Only a few will become adult frogs, just enough for the pond. The tadpole changes as it grows. Its head becomes larger. Its tail grows longer, helping the creature to swim quickly and to capture food. They constantly gulp water. That's how they breathe. They force the water out through their gills behind their mouths. That's where oxygen is taken from the water. Here's how they look from beneath, their mouths moving without a stop. After a while, the tadpole begins to grow legs. Hind legs appear first. Having a mouth on the underside of its head comes in handy for scooping up bits of food on the bottom. Isn't she dainty? And with lovely manners. Soon, forelegs appear. They're much smaller than those hind legs and far less powerful. They serve mainly to help the tadpole prop itself up. But what has happened now? The tadpoles have become frogs. Their gills are covered up and they've developed lungs. With lungs, they can go on land and breathe oxygen from the air. For this reason, frogs are known as amphibians, animals that live part of their lives in the water and part on land. In the adult frog, the tail is completely absorbed into the body. Some frogs become adults in months, others take years. Behold, nature's own frog kick. Those hind legs have strong muscles, making the frog a powerful swimmer. There are many different kinds of frog, many of which spend most of their time on land. And they come in different colors, different sizes, with many different markings. They may be large, brown and spotted, or green, plain, and so small they can perch on the end of a leaf. Some are no bigger than your thumb. Some are very colorful indeed. Some have protective coloring, camouflage. They're hard to see because they look like leaves. So much so that their enemies mistake them for leaves and pass them by. Whoops! Close call. But this one's as nimble as a trapeze artist. Some frogs, like this one, climb trees. Like all frogs, his eyes are wide-spaced, allowing him to see well to his right and his left at the same time. A great help in spotting animals that would like to eat him, as well as those he'd like to eat. But this one has already had his dinner. All he wants to do now is to perch on a twig in the moonlight on a warm summer evening and sing. Frogs sing by taking in air, puffing up their air sacs, then blowing out the air through a thin layer of skin, a membrane, that vibrates, producing a croaking sound. That looks like a blue balloon, doesn't it? Actually, it's a membrane that this frog inflates like a balloon. Each year at this time, handsome young frogs sing love songs. They sing to young lady frogs and show off their finest, brightest colors. The ladies find these love songs beautiful, and the colors gorgeous. What young lady frog wouldn't be swept off her feet at the sight? See that round disc just above the blue membrane? That's the frog's ear. That's how they hear each other as they lift their voices in a froggy chorus. The love songs work like a charm. Each lady frog picks a young fellow, and they become a couple. By next spring, each couple will produce thousands of eggs, just as their parents did, and begin the cycle all over.